Well done everyone on completing your AS mocks. I have put together here a really short video in which I explore two paragraphs from two different pupils in our class, which I think are successful paragraphs or have the potential to be very successful paragraphs. The first paragraph is about the way Dickinson presents the afterlife as quite playful at the start of This World Is Not Conclusion. And the second paragraph explores the way Dickinson presents the afterlife or the doubt about the afterlife as something far more unsettling. This continuous doubt is actually quite frustrating and destabilising. And we can see that the poem, through these two paragraphs, we can see that the poem develops and changes. So structurally, the ideas about doubt change from the opening to the end. And it's very typical of Dickinson to end on a note of ambiguity, anxiety and uncertainty. So I will talk through these two paragraphs and hopefully you can see what is needed to make a good AS level paragraph. I wanted to show you this paragraph from a pupil in our class. It is highly focused. It analyses the language of quotations. It analyses the metre used in sophisticated ways. And it makes evaluations, it makes judgments about the tone or the way that Dickinson is presenting the afterlife. And it also puts the ideas within the poem in the question, This World Is Not Conclusion, within the context of other poems in the collection. So this pupil is doing AO2, close analysis, AO4, contextualising, and it is really focused and well expressed, so AO1. So let's just read it through. So in addition, in This World Is Not Conclusion, Dickinson seems to enjoy the confusion that her inability to understand the afterlife brings to her. So we've got some evaluations. She's enjoying the confusion. That is how the afterlife is presented, as some sort of enjoyable confusion. Now, obviously, we need some quotations to back it up. And the quotation is introduced in a sophisticated way. The mystery of the afterlife beckons and it baffles. The quotation is integrated well into a sentence. Now we've got some analysis. The use of the Pyrrhic foot. So a Pyrrhic foot is a foot that goes unstressed, stressed, a diddy-dum, beckons, and it baffles, a diddy-dum. So the effect of this Pyrrhic foot, the use of the Pyrrhic foot gives the line a light-hearted and playful tone. Excellent evaluation there. Indicating, so we're going further, evaluating and further, indicating that she enjoys attempting to understand the mystery of the afterlife. Excellent. And it goes further. The playful tone is further emphasised through the use of plosive alliteration, beckons and it baffles. Great. This playful tone contrasts to some of Dickinson's other poems. So now we're putting the poem into the context of other poems within the collection. So other poems in which her confusion about the afterlife seems overwhelming and haunting. So some good evaluations about how this relates to other poems, contextualising these ideas. In I Heard a Fly Buzz When I Died, upon dying, the narrator could not see to see. The confusing, or I've suggested tautological, that kind of syntax that kind of goes round and round, that tautological use of syntax reflects the poet's inability to understand what is happening to her as she dies. The fact that she is unable to see as she dies makes death seem haunting and overwhelming. So some nice evaluations here, putting the kind of playfulness into context of the poems about the afterlife, which often seem a lot more haunting. So that was a really focused paragraph that got lots of ticks, picked up lots of marks. So well done, this pupil. I wanted to show you this example as there are so many fantastic things going on here which will enable the pupil to get lots of marks. At times, I think the expression could be a little bit tighter. However, the ideas in this are really strong. So, first of all, what I like about it is that the paragraph starts with a focused, evaluative argument statement. So we can see where this paragraph is going. There's lovely signposting. So this first line here is evaluative, focused, and and it sets the direction. It's a strong argument statement. So, Dickinson conveys the wonder and doubt of the afterlife to be uncontrollable. The doubt won't stop despite the concept of belief. So the wording of this could be a little bit better. Not quite sure what this means. Perhaps we need a colon here instead of comma, and you need to say what that refers to. So it's the doubt which won't stop despite the concept of belief. And again here, the concept of belief. What concept of belief? I think here that the pupil is referring to the empty performance and bluster from the pulpit when Dickinson refers to the strong hallelujahs that roll. So I think that expression there could be tightened up a little bit. However, overall, that opening is exactly the sort of thing that pupils should be doing. Setting up a clear argument statement, making some evaluations about the idea that the poem ends with a sense of uncontrollable doubt, which is so typical of many of Dickinson's poems about the afterlife. So you've got some evaluation going on here. Okay, so then this pupil introduces her quotation in a sophisticated way. The pupil goes on to say, she describes the church beliefs to be unable to still the tooth that nibbles at the soul. So a lovely integrated quotation, conveying, so now we've got some analysis, their ability, the church's inability to put the growing doubt of the afterlife to rest. Yes, she finds no comfort in those Puritan hallelujahs from the pulpit. She, in fact, seems to mock the idea that they might find any resolution to the problem of the afterlife. Now, the pupil then goes on to analyse a little bit further, looking at the imagery. So this is excellent. The imagery of a tooth that nibbles creates a very daunting prospect. So we've got some evaluation there. It is certainly unsettling, perhaps. I might choose unsettling instead of daunting. But you can see this pupil is evaluating in the fact that it is disembodied. Definitely this tooth which is disembodied from the body. We're not sure who is doing this gnawing. And it is slowly chewing away at the beliefs and cannot, that should be all one word, and cannot be stopped. Yes, this inevitable doubt that is continuing to gnaw. So there's an evaluation of the effects of this imagery. And then she carries on further with some evaluation. This conveys the view that the afterlife will remain a mystery and how the true nature of it will always remain behind the faith in beliefs and will slowly start to make them worth this. Now, I think this bit here needs perhaps to be reworded. However, what I like is that this pupil is coming back to the question, trying to evaluate, make some overarching comments about what Dickinson is doing in this poem and why this disembodied image of gnawing is significant. Now, what happens next is that this pupil does some AO4. So here we've got AO4. This means that she's placing the ideas of the poem in the question within the context of other poems within the collection. So the disembodied imagery, so focused argument statements, can be linked to similar imagery presented in The Last Night That She Lived. So fantastic. Really nicely signposted. Then she goes on to say when Dickinson describes the woman, so that should be an A, the woman after she's died as just the hair and the head. So we've got a similar sense of disembodiment here. So it's a really clever link to how the sense of disembodiment relates to other poems within Dickinson's collection. And the pupil then goes on to analyse this sense of fragmentation of the body, but like the fragmented tooth, there's no sense of body to it. Here we just have the hair and the head. And this pupil goes on to say that this creates the idea that death has left people soulless and evokes a disturbing, lovely evaluation, disturbing concept as to where the soul really goes. It's a maybe disturbing question where the soul really goes. Dickinson uses her descriptions and I would say perhaps unsettling imagery to reflect on the unstoppable nature of doubt. Really good evaluations about the afterlife, and exemplifies the frightening moment at which death will come. So although there are some improvements that could be made to the expression of this, the ideas are 100% there, and the structure of this paragraph is strong. It's evaluative. She picks up lots of marks for making judgments about how Dickinson is portraying the afterlife. And she uses close language analysis, so lots of AO2, and she places it in the context of other poems, AO4. So overall, this was a strong answer.